Hi everybody, this is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. And so I'm making today's video, or this video right now, ahead of time, or I'm doing it as I am feeling it, so I won't forget for my tomorrow's video. And this also is going to work with the video that I put out there for Memorial Day in reference to if you watched it, about something that has been brought to my awareness about a past lie that I have, that I made a long time ago. I don't know how long ago. Anyway, because there's a good portion of my life, and this has nothing to do with true forgetfulness, although when I dealt with my car accident and all of my issues afterwards, my symptoms, memory loss, for all of those, my health issues, I ended up forgetting a lot because I developed dementia. So the doctors said, lots of pain, no matter emotional pain, physical pain, mental anguish. When we are dealing with that, we forget. The mind, the conscious mind, or your subconscious mind is going to flip into protection mode. I'm going to make this person not remember so that they can better live their life. It's a false safe, fail safe, whatever it's called, mode that we have in our system, and it has to be corrected in order to truly become healthy. So I'm going to tell you what this lie is, because I'm going to have to correct it today. As I said, I'm making this video the same day after I made my Memorial Day video, and so I am living up to who I am right now. Every day we are giving an opportunity to prove who we are. And so this has been brought back up. Although Memorial Day, all of these energies, Mother's Day, everything is connecting us more to Mom, the mother energy. And when we are finally united with a mother, we are going to be united with a father. Little birdie is humming and singing over here a beautiful tune. I'm not sure if you can hear her. But it's so adorable. And so I am dealing with the father energy, but it's Mom who is getting me there, right? Mom is doing it. And so it's about my dad. Yeah, here goes. My dad left us when I turned 18. He divorced my mom, and I asked him if I could go with him. Wow. And he told me that I couldn't. My dad was, I was really close as a little girl, and my dad used to always hide money in the Easter egg, and he would hide it somewhere where I would be the one to find it all the time, every time. I felt more connected to my dad than I did to my mom. You see, you think we're healed, and then you find out, oh, wow. And so my dad, I have probably spoken to him maybe, or seen him, I think I saw him once in 20 years, twice maybe, I don't know. No, yeah, twice at least. Maybe 3 times I've seen him, and 3 times that I have talked to him, spoke with him in the past 20 years. All of my marriage now. And I have never blamed him for leaving my mom. I can totally understand, but the way he did it, of course, and not having any contact, of course, it's his choice. And I began, especially as I began to heal myself, I really understood his reasons for doing it, and for not even contacting me, I was assuming, well, he must have some guilt. Because it can't be because he doesn't love me. He's my dad. He's always going to love his children, right? And so I know that I have to forgive him. And I don't think, and of course I don't know. Something might come up later on. I don't know. But I know it has to do with this lie. My husband and I were, I don't know, I can't remember the actual, what was going on, and I'm probably going to have my husband fill me in on that. But I know I somehow got a hold of my dad after not speaking with him for a couple of years, and I asked him for some money. And I'm not sure even of the amount. And he ended up giving it to me. But I told my husband that I didn't receive it. I kept it because, I wasn't making money then. And, of course, my husband was, we were irresponsible. Very irresponsible. So I can make all kinds of excuses about why I chose to keep it. If, I did it because I wanted things. I needed medicine. I needed some food for my son. And so I used it since it was my dad. You could go to your mom and dad, blah, 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 but because it was my dad, I'm going to keep it for what I need and my son needs. Because my husband is the stepdad of my son. So I ended up, that was wrong. It was very wrong of me. And so that opportunity has come up into my life now, many, many years later. And there have been other chances for me in my past to rectify this. I can't remember the scenario and why, but I could hear the bitterness in my husband's voice, the anger he has and animosity that he has when the topic comes up. And he spoke that way today about it. And I should have had enough strength then to bring it up, but I'm going to have to fix this because it's the right thing to do. I love my husband, and I'm always talking to him or mentioning how I don't lie anymore. I can't lie any longer. When I find myself wanting to, open my mouth and something comes, I quickly have to change it. And if something does come out that's wrong, I have to fix it. Because my spirit now, the spirit, is much more stronger in me than my ego. My ego wants me to, okay, and I had this thought already. Let's just forget about it. We're never going to have an opportunity to be with my dad. He's never going to come around. Nothing's ever going to happen. But I realize in this experience that I have now is giving me an opportunity to change something. And if I want to become closer to the Father, the Holy Father, I must heal my father. I must heal my father. And I must heal my husband in his perception of my father. So this right here, I am taking a huge chance at what is my husband going to think about me. I know how my past has been with my husband in our marriage. I have all of these thoughts going on in my mind. All of these things that he's going to be throwing at me. Maybe, my brain, my mind, my ego is trying to tell me all of this stuff is going to happen to you, Christy, and the world is going to collapse. Your world is going to collapse. It might. And it takes me back to when I wrote my letter to my husband in the beginning. And this is why I was giving my mind back. God is good. I wrote 4 letters to my husband, to my mom, to my son, or 3. 1 to myself, I guess, but 3 anyway. I knew that because these people are people that, and my mother-in-law, yes, my mother-in-law, that I live with, and I knew I had to heal those close to me and myself. And so I wrote those, is what they call I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you letters. So you can do that practice within yourself. And then you can also go above and beyond, is what I used to do or express to the people who came to me for my light sessions, is write letters. These are for you only. I did them for myself, but as I was doing it for myself and really, really being honest about every single thing with my husband, I said, I'm going to give all of these letters to those I love. And more specifically with my husband, I knew this was going to end disastrously. But through faith and love, through God, was guiding me and saying, if you do this, I'm going to be there for you. Faith and love says that no matter what you're doing, greatness shall come out of it. If you're doing it with faith and doing it with love, everything is going to work out. It doesn't mean that my husband and I are going to stay married. That's not what God's talking about. It's going to work out, whether good or bad. It's going to work out. You are going to understand it, and you're going to love the decision. So I gave it to him. And in the long run, everything came out okay. So I'm going to continue this video a little bit later. But I wanted to quickly get this down on video with my emotion and my thoughts intact. And I will add some more information to it later on. So just stay tuned. Hi everybody, this is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. And so what's going on here is that I am editing or compiling several days worth of knowledge or experiences into one video. So yesterday I had planned on uploading the video that I am late in uploading. So my Memorial Day video, which would have been what is today? Yeah, today is 30th. So I wanted to upload that video on the 29th. Things didn't pan out that way. A lot of external experiences took place that kind of, didn't allow me to have the time to upload it. And I didn't want to upload a video too late within the day. So I've waited for Memorial Day to upload it. So when you hear it, of course, you're hearing it in the past tense. And along with this video, since I had meant to upload this current video that I am working on May the 30th, it will probably be postponed until perhaps the 31st, when I have a little bit more time to continue on with extra information. But because I have had an experience, I'm going to incorporate another portion of a video and then push stop and then continue on hopefully tomorrow in making that video. Another experience has come into my world and asking me to postpone these things. We really have to appreciate disruption, or whatever it is that's coming into play. And so in my the earlier portion of this video, I have expressed that an experience has come into my awareness that has taken me back into time, thus memory of a time in my life that has to deal with my father. And so I'm going to hopefully have enough time to discuss this. My dad decided to, just to recap a little bit, because I don't remember what I actually had time to, I didn't have time to re-listen to the video that I made yesterday that is supposed to be in the beginning of this video. So please, I apologize for all of that. My dad ended up leaving the family and waited until I was 18 to do so. I, at first, was very bitter about this because I knew that he waited so long to leave us all because he didn't want to pay child support. And of course, I totally get all of that as well. But prolonging, I'm like, why would you prolong something just for that based on money? Your own happiness. If you wanted to be happy, you should have went on and did that. And because, when we are unhappy, we tend to allow that unhappiness to reflect into the lives of those who are closer to us as well. So I haven't had a real relationship with my dad ever since he left, and I've seen him maybe less than a handful of times, including speaking with him less than a handful of times total. But in my marriage, after my auto accident, I'm going to explain what's happened to me recently, coming back into my memory. I called my dad. I guess I was able to get a hold of my aunt or somebody gave me my dad's number. I don't know. Because my dad has kind of been in hiding pretty much. I don't know why he thinks that because I live close to my mom, that I prefer my mom over him. And that is not the case. I still love my dad with, just like I did when I was a little girl. And, having that father-daughter connection. So, my husband and I were going through a hard time, and this was after my auto accident where I was still taking lots of medicine, trying to get some answers medically about what was going on with my back, my shoulders, my neck, my muscles, and also dealing with the settlement still. Of course, it was really fresh, and that was also prolonged for about 5 or 6 years after my accident anyway. So I somehow told him about our issues, and I don't remember a whole chunk here. I don't remember a lot of my time frame here after my auto accident and to a certain point because of pain, okay? Whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, or mental pain. I was dealing with lots of it internally, and it reflected in my mind, making me forget. And so I had an opportunity to, because my husband and I were talking about my dad the other day, and he brought it up about my dad not giving us the money that he said he was going to give us to help us out during this, when we were struggling or something. And I don't remember what's happening. So when my husband brought this up, I can sense that type of bitterness, animosity, sarcasm within his voice. And at first I felt a little bit reactive, and I can't think of the actual emotion here that I was feeling. A little bit aggravated that he was, feeling that bitterness or anger, whatever he was going through. But I sensed there was something going on. And I knew that I had to come clean about this situation because I was feeling not only angered that he was still feeling this, but I felt a little pain in my heart. And as I came back inside and realized what needed to be done, and understanding that because of God's message, God already knew I was going to go through this because of what's in my heart still and what's lingering within my mind still. And God also knows what I was going to choose. Forgiveness. Of course, of myself and asking for forgiveness from somebody else. I didn't have to go out of my way and have a discussion with my husband about this. My heart guides me to go over and beyond continuously. And, of course, my mind was thinking of all of the bad things that my husband could have said to me. My ego was really making me think, oh, well, he's going to call you names. He's going to say that you are just a complete liar. You are, whatever. I was thinking of the worst experiences possible yesterday as I made a decision to speak to my husband about it. And so it didn't work out that I could talk to him yesterday. And I did so this very morning. And so I asked my dad in the past, and I don't remember what year this was that it took place. Well, I didn't ask him because my husband had to kind of fill me in. I don't know if I asked my dad for money or because I told him about what was going on, and then my dad, because, he felt like being a dad, and that's all that he could do for me, is offer me some money. If that's the reason why, then he did so, but I don't remember anything. I don't remember how it took place and what happened afterwards, really. My instinct is that I kept the money. And again, I don't remember, because if I was hurting, I was really hurting about this entire experience, but my brain can't remember the experience at all. And I know I've healed a lot of trauma, but because there's an emotion that I felt around this entire experience, I knew I wasn't completely healed. And that's why we have to go back into memory, thus why we're at Memorial Day, because we get to a level and then we have to work our way through that level. We are working with a mom. Mother is very forgiving, right? Mothers are always there. They're very nurturing, very guiding. Of course, so is dad. But we are dealing with those types of emotions and solutions, of course, which revolve around an experience. You're going to go back into time, to a time that needs to be healed in order to move forward and closer to the Father. In order to get to the Father, we have to go through the Son, to the Mom, to get to the Dad. Of course, the Holy Spirit as well. And I mentioned that, I think, in my first clip to this video, but I just wanted to re-emphasize that. And so I apologized this very morning, and I was very emotional about it, and I thought I was going to be very emotional about it now. I told my husband that I don't really remember. I don't know if I received the money, and I kept it for my son and myself because of medicine, or he was having severe food allergies at the time, and his food was very expensive. So I don't know. I'm only, putting thoughts into our conversation because I can't recall. And maybe I'm making excuses about it. I don't know. But I had to apologize because I felt something. And I'm also apologizing that my husband had a negative thought about my dad. Even if my dad had done this, I really don't want my husband to think ill of my dad. And because I love my dad. And I will always welcome my dad into my life, in my arms, and I will run to him if I ever saw him, and here we go. I miss my dad, I guess. I want to, because something that has really, although I knew this all of my ascension cycle, which is why I've stayed with my husband when my mind, ego was telling me, you deserve better than this. It's not your responsibility to take care of every single thing. You are worthy of so much freedom and so much happiness. I wanted to just go, run, and hide. And I didn't care about finding somebody else. I just wanted to be done. Okay, I just wanted peace. We can't run. If we are unwilling to heal relationships around us, especially those of our opposite. So my husband, the male energy, then if we are unwilling to reconcile between mother and child relationships, or father and child relationships, or sister and brother relationships, and that's something I need to express about my brother as well, and that's why I'm brought here to my dad now, because of what my brother is actually going through. And so we have to heal these relationships. It's not so much that you have to constantly be around these people. I totally get that there's going to be a time where we just need to step aside and allow ourselves the time to think and to actually feel what we're going through. But in true healing, you will want a relationship. In true healing and true love, you're going to welcome a real relationship. And so for me, getting closer to the Father principle, God, getting closer to God as Father, I have to heal my dad, my relationship with my dad, but also in order for me to do that, I have to heal my relationship with my husband. That's why I brought up something from the past. I could let this go. When is there going to be an opportunity for my husband to ever meet my dad to begin with? Because my dad's been, gone for 20 years or more actually. And, but what if there is an opportunity that my husband gets to finally meet my dad? And the first thing my husband brings up is, where's that money? Then what's going to take place? An argument, this and that, pointing of the fingers, all kinds of scenarios could take place. Do I want to be in that type of situation? And do I want my husband to be in that situation? Do I want my dad to be attacked? Nope, I don't. So, I apologize to my husband today. Not knowing exactly what took place, what I've done. And I hope, though, in coming clean, the true memory is going to come back. And I told my husband, if after this, because I am living up to it, I start to remember, I am more than happy to share in that memory and close out that portion of our lives. And so let me add to my brother here, because that is also the male energy, right? And we have to heal all of these things. Now, I'm not going to actually tell you why I have not had a relationship with my brother. It's not just because after my dad left or he left that I haven't had it. A serious experience took place and we were young children. And, it just wasn't handled. It wasn't handled. And, but here recently, my sister called me a few days ago, on Saturday, Friday, and told me that my brother has a post on Facebook, which we're not Facebook friends because I wasn't on Facebook to begin with for a long time, until about, 4 or 5 years now I've been on Facebook. And then I actually blocked my brother because of the pain and that I experienced with him. I just didn't want to be involved with him, really. So I didn't see that post, and I had to send him a friend request because we have talked a few times on Instagram. I think his wife, second wife, I'm not sure which wife it was, has recently passed last year, I believe, or the year previously. And so I was, of course, giving him my condolences and letting him know that I am here for him. But here we are. He is at stage 4 kidney failure, is what I read, and also needs a pancreas transplant as well. So I knew I was at this crossroad again at what to do. Do I allow my bitterness, animosity, and experiences to interfere with this, or do I step up to the plate? In order to serve humanity, to be of true service, we are sacrificing ourselves continuously for humanity, which means for love. That we aren't thinking about ourselves and we're doing things for love. But if we are doing things, if we think we're doing it for love and we end up still having pain and animosity, or, okay, I'm just, I have to do it, I don't like to do it. You know how it is. I know I gotta do these dishes. I wish somebody else would do it, but I'm gonna do it. You're doing things for the wrong reason, therefore you're not actually, we're not actually doing anything good, because that karma still is going to come back to us in the form of what our heart is feeling. Even if we make ourselves do something because we know that we have to do it or it's good, if we're still feeling a negative form attached to it, the lesson is going to come back continuously until we have actually healed from that type of experience. And so I didn't think much about it. I was like, oh gosh, and I talked to my sister about it, told my mom about it, and then I said to my mom, I said, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to give him my kidney. And it's just like, no, Christy, no. And of course, my mom's Asian, so Vietnamese, and so I'm talking, trying to sound like her. I was like, yeah, because I think anyway, no matter what, siblings, true siblings, are from the same family, who are from the same family, are the greatest chances of it. And so, as I said that to my mom, I knew what was taking place, the sacrifice. Now, my past self would have been terrified of even doing this, because it means going back to the hospital. It means going back to a place where I had had so many negative experiences. They did not help me. They didn't do anything. I woke up from surgeries without a voice. They didn't fix this when they, said it was going to correct me. All kinds of scenarios could have went through my mind. But at that point, all I can think of is if I can save a life, or if I can be there for my brother and demonstrate love to him, I have to do it. This is my opportunity. And this is my way of saying, I forgive you. So if it ever comes to that point, I'm still waiting to hear, then, and I'm not telling you this to make you think better of me, or to think that I am doing something great. I'm telling you about an experience of sacrifice and how I have come to terms with it and what this means in relationship to our ascension cycle. Because you're going to be faced with a lot of situations that are a part of male, female, mother, father, friendships, connections that are a part of your ascension cycle. And I really want you to understand how significant these experiences are and how significant they are in your ascension cycle. You have to really see them, and you have to really understand them. And when you are really understanding experiences, it's because you're working through secret knowledge. It takes certain people a willingness from individual to begin the process of observation. And not everybody is willing to step back and observe. So I have all of that going on. Lots of healing of, and my aunt also, because getting in contact more on Facebook with my brother has made me find my aunt, who, of course, because my aunt was married to my uncle, who is my dad's brother, and he was one of my favorite uncle. He's recently passed as well. I didn't know about that, and the relationship was non-existent really, because my dad separated and took everything, and that's what happens when we separate. We take everything away. We take all the love that was once there, and we take it away from other people as well. So that's why when we are choosing selflessness, sacrifice, and love, we are not doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for others. So if my dad had gone over and beyond and kept a relationship with me, or us, all of us, instead of thinking, well, her mom's there, or I have to deal with her, or whatever it is, or what, we would also have a relationship with the rest of the family. And so in me, my aunt wants to give my information to my dad, is the point. And I told my husband that this could be disastrous if a mom finds out, because my mom hasn't healed from my dad. And he goes, well, you don't have to tell her. I was like, well, I'm not going to lie. If it ever comes up, because now I'm going to be helping my brother, or dealing more with my brother, the situation might come up. I will not lie. So that means that my relationship with my mom could go sour. Could. But I can't think about that. I'm doing something right. And in doing right, the greatest outcome will be my mother has to take that other side, and she has to either come from love and receive it as I'm doing something right, or she can, push me aside because of it. She can either say that I've always been a good daughter to her, I'm here all the time for her, I've helped her out in so many, she can see the goodness in me, or she can end up saying, oh, she's in contact with dad, now she's choosing dad. And that's what she's said in the past, and I just hope that she's at a different point in her life. And of course, I'm just jumping to conclusions, really, and thinking about this. But I'm thinking about it, and I'm not having an attachment to it. That's the difference. I'm thinking of it, but not having an attachment. There's no emotion. No emotion. That's the difference. And so I just wanted to take a brief moment here. I have to get ready for things, and I hope to continue on. But before I go, because of Memorial Day, we tend to celebrate it with the military in service. We end up having the military, though, to help us, and it has been formed because of war, in order to stand up for America and fight for our rights. That's what it's been for. When we are at war within, we develop war outside. We are reflecting. And when we finally get into love, we begin the process of changing the vibrations of other individuals. They change into love. Therefore, what we see from inside is united, is at peace, and in harmony. And therefore, war will not exist. We can't force people to say we can't have war. And we can't make people think that war is of value to us. We can't make people understand one way or the other if we are in chaos internally. That's why it's so important for us to forgive all things from within. More to come. Okay, this is going to be part 3 of a compiled video that I am making, and I wanted to, because my videos have been labeled Memorial Day, or the significance of Memorial Day and the lessons that are found within it. I want you to understand that I am not in any way, shape, or form forgetting about those who have risked their lives in battle, in a war. I am not, I'm very, I send all of those people love, because I actually grew up in the military, in the Army family. My dad was in the military, in the Army, and as a child, I always thought I was going to enter into the military. I was actually on my way when I was 19 to enter into the military. I was on my way there driving, and I chickened out on my way there. So that was me being terrified of the outcome. More specifically, I was terrified of the test. What if the test said that I wasn't good enough? What if I couldn't pass? All kinds of things that were going through my mind. So I have had lots of pride for my dad, who he was not only just in the Army, but he served as a drill sergeant, and then a teacher, and all kinds of things that he did. And I felt so much. I looked up to him as this person who really loved his country and really stood by what he was doing. And that is something that I had value in. And I wanted to serve in the military and really sacrifice my life for a greater cause. But like I said, I think in the middle portion of this video is that war outside of us, or army outside of us, is the battle within us. Our reflection always comes out. So I really want you to understand, when we are complete love, when we have finally connected to the Father Principle and become one with Source, we don't see we don't see anything that is wrong externally. And it's hard for people who are still seeing things that are wrong externally. All the things that are going on. What was it? The shooting in Texas here, not here where I'm at, but here in the U.S. Recently. Very traumatic. Very traumatic. Children. And people are, of course, coming out with guns being the issue, but this is an imbalance issue. It's not just about depression. It's an issue that goes back to the beginning of time, of lacking. And until each one of us embodies the purity of self, we say higher self. What does that even mean? The purity of self through Source creation. All of this external chaos and war is still going to exist. When we finally have purity within, when we have that purity connection within ourselves, we begin the process of changing. That is what true change is all about. When we hear, whether it's politicians or other people or even myself, when I talk to my husband, or when I'm talking to my son or my father-in-law, and I'm saying, no, you got to do this, this, and this, and this. It's like a mom and dad who are yelling at their child for all of the mistakes they've done in their lives. And the brain automatically shuts off. The ears, everything just shuts down. And we turn on that fail-safe mode. And then we do the exact opposite of what we are supposed to do that is right. Learning our lessons, understanding. Now, this is always in relationship to understanding higher knowledge, not the knowledge that has been embedded or taught by mankind. We have to rise above all situations until we reach the highest of understanding, and that's love. And love is going to fulfill the law. Love is going to give you all sorts of wisdom pertaining to the level that you are currently at. And if you are limiting your understanding because you're still like, oh no, that's wrong. Oh no, I can't do this. Oh no, you shouldn't do that. Oh, I'm right. If we're living still within judgment, ego, despair, fear, and I'm going through some anxiety today as a result of me deciding to donate my kidney to my brother. So I filled out the application, and I was like, whew. I had to really slow down my breathing because I felt it. My heart started to palpitate even faster, and my body was feeling, oh gosh. I realized you're anxious. You're thinking about the outcome. I even did the research about how my life is going to be afterwards. And it's about a 2-year process after, from beginning to end, that the people who are working through the transplant team, whatever it's called, says they're going to be checking in on me for up to 2 years, depending on, of course, my progress. So I'm already thinking, oh gosh, the worst, and building anxiety up. And I was like, okay, maybe I should change, or maybe I shouldn't do this. Oh my gosh, why did you make this choice, Christy? And I also, this morning, had a conversation with my husband, and was wondering, why my sister? Why didn't I save my sister, Jackie, who passed away? Gosh, I was 35. I'm 47. So yeah, that long ago. And she died of, well, it was a very tragic situation. But of course she had kidney and pancreas. The same thing my brother is going through now. She was going through back then, and I was wondering, why wasn't I given the option to save her life? And I asked my older sister today if she knew, had any answers for me, and she couldn't think. And it's either my sister didn't tell us she needed it, and again, I'm back to I can't remember a good chunk of my life after my accident, and to a certain point. Bits and pieces are there, and the necessary things, all the good things I can remember. Good things and things I've healed from, I can remember. But some things we're not supposed to remember because we will be completely transformed of mind and heart. So I want you to keep that in mind. It's not a bad thing that we forget, yet we can tend to feel bad because we can't remember. And I'm not beating myself up today, but I was just wondering about the entire situation. And of course I won't get answers from it, because my sister isn't here any longer to share. Did she choose to not have a kidney or pancreas transplant? Or was she so far along in her disease that she waited too long or something? I don't know. Or was I so sunk into my own world, my own despair, my own trauma, that I just didn't realize? All these things are possible. And I can be a person right now who really takes it to heart and becomes traumatized by the what if she needed it and I wasn't there. So that's something I'm going through today.
And as I was mentioning, I'm not trying to take away from what the military is for, but there's a reason for why we have. There's a reason for why we have every single thing in this reality. And in order for you to see Eden, you must become Eden. I hope that's an easier way of describing it. You have to become it, and when you become it, you become contagious. That love becomes contagious, just like fear is contagious. Love can be embodied by another individual. We don't change reality by beating realities, our own personal reality, into somebody else. We give somebody the opportunity to decide for themselves. And I wanted to, put in this video not just what my experiences have been through Memorial Day. And I thought I was going to label this part 2, but I'm not sure now. Because we're going into June, and I really don't know what I'm going to do here, if I'm going to make a June video with this one and combine it. I guess I should kind of keep it separate because I want to label it correctly. But as you can see through, continue on here, as you can see through my past videos, we have been working with the mother energy. Of course, May is about the mother because we have Mother's Day. Now you can only assume, and I've already given you a clue, we're working our way towards the Father continuously, of unification towards the Father, and that's what takes place in June. I think it is. So that's something to keep in mind. But it's so much more than that. It's so much more. Well, it'll give you next month, or this month in June is going to give you so much information, and I hope you can understand it in my next video. So I have already been experiencing being in June, and this is something that many of us will experience because, as I tend to mention in my videos, is that we are not just in one level. It's always working within 3. But of course, we always work within 7 because of laws of 3 and laws of 7. And we're working at other areas or levels or initiations pertaining to your chosen path. So we're working with the mother energy, but we're working with the sun energy, and we're working with the father energy. 3 levels of creation at all times. So that's why you can simultaneously feel as if you're being bombarded, overpowered, overcome with so much in your reality. Like the world is just collapsing. You may have a sense of collapse. It has to shatter. Your world must shatter in order for the new world to be given. And so for my life, though, and my experiences, I tell you all about my experiences. And they may seem either good or bad, or simple, or oh my gosh, to a lot of you. But for myself at this level, although sometimes, like the one that I experienced recently, or a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago with my husband, literally almost had me running out the door again. Almost. Briefly. So it can seem very bad. But if you have a greater understanding, if you have learned through every single level, then these experiences no longer bind you. They set you free. That's the purpose of all of our experiences, is to set us free. I've been experiencing lots of leg issues, and I may have already mentioned that somewhere along this video from a few days ago and then yesterday. And please forgive me if I have right shoulder issues and indigestion issues. So that's something I just wanted to add. Depending on where you are, the symptoms can be different. We all handle things differently, just like, how we handle our experiences are different. How we understand our experiences are different, and therefore our symptoms can be different. And I know a lot of people are still experiencing throat problems, whether sore throats, infections, vocal cord changes. I'm still from time to time experiencing a change in voice. So your sinuses can still be, having issues there, lots of allergy type situations. The adrenal glands, the lymphatic system can be affected, your endocrine system, all of it can have some sort of symptom and release upgrade. Please stay within the awareness that you are being given a blessing. You are being upgraded. You are having a new experience. In order for these new experiences to be integrated, you have to feel something. And feeling is very uncomfortable. You'll get through this. Get through this. Enjoy your experience. You have to enjoy your experience. Enjoying it doesn't mean that you like it. It means that you are welcoming it. You're going to welcome in this experience and try to be your greatest self in that experience. And I know when we have illness, it can really wipe us out, make us feel bad. We can become easily cranky. That's all a part of the experience. So for me doing this kidney transplant, it can be very scary. And that's what my mind is trying to teach me again. Be very scary. You're going to go into another experience or an experience again where the outcome can be ruined. I can live within that idea, or I can live because, I know that this body here, I have learned that this body is not eternal, that I should not be so concerned about this body. It's not the body that it makes me. It's the spirit and soul that makes me who I am. And that is going to be eternal. This is just my vehicle for getting around in. And if I can help somebody else with my vehicle, if they believe in a transplant, if they believe that this is going to save them, give them extra life, then I'm going to look within my own self and do what's right. There's no right and wrong. If I decide not to, of course, is it right or wrong? The idea makes it good or bad, or just neutral. I made this decision on impulse, I guess. It was already there. It was just there. The idea was there, and I've moved forward with it. And I'm having anxiety, or I did experience a brief moment of anxiety, and I may have more anxiety in my future. I don't know, but I know I'm going to get through it. And whatever outcome comes out of it is going to still be great. It's going to be a lesson still. So I'm going to, I promise, get through a June video, and you won't want to miss that. It's something that I have already been going through, as I mentioned, for a couple of weeks or a month, if that, perhaps, all these messages and everything. And that's why I've been feeling as if, wow, because I'm having these experiences still that are helping me, that's pushing me towards it. And these experiences are making me feel as if, well, look at me. I'm still having these experiences. I'm still, I'm behaving negatively, if you will. But of course, you're purifying. You're having that experience, which is always necessary. And yet, you still love me. Because God knows our heart. Source, our spirit, and Source always knows what we're going to decide. Whether we are acting on a Source or ourself. The human self, that is. So come on back, guys. I hope I have everything that I wanted to say within this video, and I look forward to sharing June's video with you. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.